Hey, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video, and if this one helps you out, a like means a lot to us. Let's get into it. There is a business model behind a significant portion of consumer goods that is not widely advertised but is thoroughly documented. It is called planned obsolescence, the deliberate design of products to have a limited functional lifespan so that consumers replace them more frequently than they would need to if the product were built to last. It exists on a spectrum from subtle, a phone software update that slows older models, to overt, a product designed to fail just after the warranty expires. It is one of the primary drivers of the consumer spending cycle and one of the most significant sources of unnecessary household expenditure. Beyond planned obsolescence, there is also a parallel phenomenon that is less deliberate but equally expensive: the cultural assumption that newer is better and that replacing things is simply what you do when something no longer feels current, even if it is still fully functional. Today, we are going through the things people throw away or replace that still have significant useful life remaining, why they are being discarded prematurely, and what the practical alternative looks like for each one. Razor blades are one of the clearest examples of a product most people replace far more frequently than necessary. The primary reason razors dull quickly in most households is not that the blades are worn, it is that they are stored wet. A razor blade left in the shower or on the bathroom sink, repeatedly exposed to moisture and air, oxidizes and develops microscopic rust and corrosion on the blade edge within days. This corrosion is what dulls the blade, not the cutting. Thoroughly drying a razor blade after every use by running it blade side up across a pair of denim jeans or a dry towel, or using a hairdryer briefly, and storing it dry removes the conditions that cause rapid dulling. A blade that lasts 1 to 2 weeks in a wet environment will last several months treated this way. The saving is roughly 3 to 5 cartridge replacement packs per year per person. Sponges are thrown away far more frequently than necessary, and for reasons that are partly valid and partly a function of not knowing the alternatives. Kitchen sponges harbor bacteria and develop odors because they stay moist. The bacterial growth is real and is the legitimate reason for replacing them regularly. But the replacement cycle for most households is daily or weekly, when the effective and safe cycle should be every 2 to 4 weeks with proper sanitization in between. Placing a damp sponge in the microwave on high for 1 to 2 minutes kills the vast majority of the bacteria that cause odor and make sponges unhygienic. Doing this every 2 or 3 days extends the useful and safe life of a sponge dramatically. Squeezing the sponge completely dry after every use and storing it in a position where air circulates around it rather than flat on the sink reduces bacterial growth between sanitizing cycles. Mattresses last significantly longer than the 8 to 10 year replacement cycles suggested by mattress retailers, whose financial interest in a shorter replacement cycle is not subtle. A quality mattress with a washable mattress protector, rotated every 3 to 6 months and aired occasionally, can remain comfortable and hygienic for 15 to 20 years. The primary drivers of premature mattress replacement are moisture damage from spills and sweat that a mattress protector prevents entirely, and uneven wear that rotation addresses. Before replacing a mattress that feels less comfortable, rotating it fully, head to foot, and trying a mattress topper to address comfort issues is almost always worth attempting first. A good mattress topper costs $30 to $200 depending on the type. A new mattress costs $500 to several thousand. Laptop computers are replaced by most consumers every 3 to 4 years based primarily on perceived slowness rather than actual hardware failure. The slowness that prompts most laptop replacements is almost never a hardware problem, it is a software problem. Over time, a Windows laptop accumulates startup programs, background processes, browser extensions, fragmented storage, and accumulated temporary files that consume processing power and memory in ways that have nothing to do with the age or capability of the hardware. A laptop that felt fast when new and feels slow 4 years later is frequently capable of feeling fast again after a clean reinstall of the operating system. It's a solid-state drive upgrade if it still has a spinning hard drive, and a RAM upgrade if it is below 8 gigabytes. These interventions cost $100 to $200 and produce a computer that performs as well as a mid-range new laptop at a fraction of the replacement cost. Clothing is thrown away in quantities that have increased dramatically over the past 2 decades with the rise of fast fashion and the normalization of disposable garments. A significant proportion of clothing discarded is structurally sound but has developed minor issues: a missing button, a split seam, a broken zipper, a small hole, that are inexpensive to repair by a tailor or a cobbler and that require only basic sewing skills to fix at home. The barrier is not the difficulty of the repair. Replacing a button takes 3 minutes. It is the cultural assumption that a garment with a minor defect is a garment to discard. A tailor or alterations shop can repair a split seam for $3 to $5, replace a zipper for $8 to $15, and take in or let out a garment to restore its fit for $10 to $20. The cost of these repairs is a fraction of the replacement cost of the garment and keeps clothing in use for years beyond the point at which most people discard it. Shoes are the clothing adjacent item most aggressively discarded before the end of their functional life. A shoe with a worn sole, a separated upper, or a broken heel is frequently thrown away when each of these failures is specifically what a cobbler is trained to address. A full resole on quality leather shoes costs $40 to $80. A new upper bond repair costs $10 to $20. A heel replacement costs $15 to $30. Quality leather shoes that are resoled can last decades. The leather upper of a well-constructed shoe can outlast several sets of soles. Resoling is not economical for fashion sneakers or low-quality shoes where the upper will deteriorate regardless. However, for any shoe with a leather or quality synthetic upper, repair is consistently cheaper than replacement for any shoe that cost above a threshold where quality construction was purchased. Non-stick cookware is replaced in most households because the coating has scratched, chipped, or lost its non-stick properties. But for most of the history of cooking, non-stick properties were provided not by a synthetic coating, but by properly seasoned cast iron or carbon steel, both of which can be reseasoned indefinitely and never need replacing. Cast iron that has rusted or had its seasoning stripped can be restored to perfect condition through a simple process of removing the rust with steel wool and reseasoning with a thin layer of oil in an oven. The pan itself will then outlast any non-stick cookware in the household and performs better on high heat applications. Carbon steel follows the same principles and is the material used in professional restaurant kitchens precisely because it is durable, repairable, and improves with age. Vacuum cleaners are replaced in most households based on loss of suction that is almost universally caused by a full or blocked filter or a clogged hose rather than actual motor failure. A vacuum that has lost meaningful suction almost always recovers it fully after the filters are cleaned or replaced, typically a $10 part, and any blockages are cleared from the hose and head. Filter replacement and hose cleaning are 30-minute tasks that most vacuum manuals describe and that restore full function to a machine that its owner was considering replacing. The average household replaces a vacuum every 5 to 7 years when proper maintenance would extend that to 10 to 15. Batteries in household devices are declared dead by the device itself based on charge level thresholds rather than actual depletion. A television remote that indicates its batteries are low often has significant remaining charge that is insufficient for the remote's threshold, but more than sufficient for lower draw devices like clocks, small radios, or LED lights. Cycling apparently dead batteries from higher draw devices to lower draw devices before discarding them extracts meaningful additional value from each set. Rechargeable batteries eliminate the replacement cycle entirely for devices used frequently. The upfront cost of a set of rechargeable batteries and a charger is recovered within the first few replacement cycles. Paint left in sealed cans is frequently thrown out during home cleanups based on age alone when it is actually still usable. Latex paint stored in a properly sealed can at stable room temperature, not in a garage where temperature extremes cause the paint to freeze or separate, remains usable for 10 or more years. The test is simple: open the can and stir thoroughly. If the paint returns to a smooth, consistent texture and has no foul smell, it is usable. The cost of paint makes keeping leftover cans for touch-ups and small projects worth the storage space they occupy, particularly for specific colors matched to existing walls where purchasing a new can would require rematching. The pattern across all of these categories is the same. Something that functions but does not feel new prompts a replacement purchase that is rarely actually necessary. The cultural and commercial pressure to replace rather than repair is real and deliberately maintained by the industries that benefit from shorter replacement cycles. Resisting it requires only the habit of asking whether the item can be repaired, cleaned, restored, or maintained before committing to replacement. For most of the items in this video, the answer is yes. The cost of the intervention is a fraction of replacement, and the result is functionally equivalent to new at a dramatically lower price. Drop a comment with the thing you replaced most recently that you wish you had tried to repair first. We read every single one. And if you want us to do a video specifically on home repairs and appliance fixes anyone can do without a professional, let us know below. Hit the like button if this helped, subscribe and tap the bell if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.